film.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so Jen, do you mind if we put it on film?
No, not at all.
Okay, cool. Okay, so Jen, what we're doing is we're going around asking people what their thoughts are, what they think happens after someone dies.
Okay.
The afterlife and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, wow.
Pretty heavy.
I should have asked what this was about before. What are my thoughts?
No right or wrong answer.
Well, I do believe there's something more out there.
Okay.
However, I don't exactly know what.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you believe in like heaven, hell?
Yeah.
Okay. God?
I believe in heaven. I don't know if I believe in an actual one being.
Okay, like one place?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you believe in hell?
Yeah.
Okay. So you believe in God? Okay. What do you, like, would you consider yourself to be a good person?
Yes.
Okay. Can I ask you a few questions to see how good you are?
I don't know. We'll see if I want to answer them. You can ask them though.
Okay.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the Ten Commandments
Yes.
before?
Yeah.
Do you think you've kept them? Or do you know any of them?
I do know some of them. I don't think I've kept all of them.
Okay. Do you want to tell me the ones that you
No.
think you know? Just like rattle them off?
I don't know them all. I'd like to rattle them off.
Okay.
You tell me.
Okay. Let's go through a few of them and just kind of see how you do up against that standard.
Okay.
How many lies have you told in your whole life, do you think?
In my whole life?
Whole life. Like more than 1, 10, 50?
I would say maybe more than one.
Okay.
Maybe, hopefully less than 50.
Okay. What do you call someone that tells lies?
Well, it depends, I think.
Like what's like if I told a lie to you?
It would depend on the context. Like, are you telling it to save someone pain, or are you telling it just to save yourself?
Anything that it's not true that I'm saying would be considered a lie.
Okay.
Whether I'm trying to save someone or not, it's still not the truth.
Okay.
Like what do you call that person? What's that name?
I guess a liar.
Okay. Okay. Question 2. Have you ever stolen anything in your whole life, even if it was small, irrespective of value? Like, music off the internet?
Yeah.
That you didn't pay for, that kind of stuff. Okay. What do you call someone that steals things?
Oh boy. Am I gonna go to hell after all this?
You're being very open and I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, no problem. A thief?
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever used God's name in vain?
Yes.
You know what that means?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So basically the Bible calls that blasphemy.
Okay.
We take the name of the God that gave us life,
Yeah.
and we use it either as excitement, like, the Canucks score, oh my,
Yeah.
or as disgust.
Yeah.
Instead of the F word, the S word, we use his name,
Yeah.
right? So he calls it blasphemy.
Okay.
Next question. Jesus said, whoever looks at a person to lust after them has committed adultery with them already in their heart. Have you ever looked at someone with lust?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
As we all have.
I can't lie about that. Yeah.
Okay. So Jen, by your own admission, and I'm not judging you because I fall into the same thing.
Okay.
You'd be a liar, a thief,
Yeah.
a blasphemer,
Right.
and an adulterer.
Right.
Do you think that's the definition of a good person?
No, but I don't think it's the definition of a bad person either.
Okay.
I think that's an honest person, and I think anybody who would to say no to all of those would probably be a liar.
They'd break the first one.
Yeah.
Answer. Yeah. So our definition, though, like our human definition of good, like I consider you a good person. I consider myself a good person. Tara a good person. But our definition is so low. God's definition is moral perfection in thought, word, and action. So someone that's never lied, always told the truth. They've never stolen anything, even to their own hurt. They won't steal it. They've never blasphemed God's name. They've never looked with lust. They resisted that every time. Like if it's your own spouse, that's not lust. It just means someone that you're not with. So that's God's definition of perfection. We went through basically 4 of the 10 Commandments. So basically, when you die at some point, we're all going to die. The ultimate statistic: 10 out of 10 people die. When you die, and if God were to judge you by His 10 Commandment standard, I think He'd find you innocent or guilty of breaking it.
It's based on what you just told me?
Based on what went through,
guilty, obviously.
So if He found you guilty,
Yeah.
what should you do if He's heaven or hell?
Is there somewhere maybe in between?
Nothing. It's only heaven or hell. There's no purgatory.
Well, how do you know?
What's that scripturally? There's nothing in between.
There could be.
No,
There
Jesus
might be.
taught. There's heaven for the just.
I believe there's more than that.
Okay. So, but if that was what He was going to judge you by, heaven or hell, what would He give you? If He found you to be guilty, breaking His law.
Well, based on that, I guess hell.
Okay. If that were the case, does that concern you?
No.
Not at all? Okay. Now let's...
Should it?
Well, it definitely should.
Okay.
Okay, so let me kind of set this up for you, like, if, like, let's say in a natural court of law, let's say someone were, like, guilty of a serious crime, and they stand before the judge, and the judge is like, you know what, you're guilty of this, you're going to go away to prison for life, or you're going to get the electric chair. And if the person says, you know what, I don't believe that you're a judge, I don't believe in an electric chair, so I'm going to leave. It doesn't matter what that person believes, it's what the judge believes about that person. Do you agree with that? Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if, like, what we believe is, it doesn't matter if I believe this and someone else believes that. What matters is what's the truth, whether we believe is the truth, right? So, like I was saying, so if God were to judge you by that standard, by His moral standard, we've all broken it, not any better than you, He would have to find you guilty, and He have to send you to hell, even though He didn't want to.
Right.
Do you know what God's done so you don't have to receive that punishment, even though you just deserve it?
No.
Okay, I'll give you this analogy again. Going back to the courtroom. Let's say, Jen, you're guilty of a serious crime. Okay, you're this person now. Okay, judge says, Jen, the penalty is $1 million fine or life in prison. Now, if you're anything like me, you probably can't pay the $1 million fine. Am I right? Okay, so while the bailiff is about to take you away, they're like, Jen, this is guilty. We got it on camera. You're sworn confession. You've done it. You gotta go, girl. Okay, you don't have $1 million. It's life in prison. So while they're taking you away, someone walks into the courtroom. You don't even know this person. You've never met them, never seen them ever before. They walk up to the judge's bench and they say, Judge, I've given my whole life. I've sold everything that I have, and I love Jen so much. I'm paying $1 million fine. Here it is. And it's real. It's not funny money. It's real stuff. Puts on the judge's bench. Now, what should the judge legally do in that case?
Legally?
Legally.
Wouldn't that be up to the judge?
Well, like the penalty was $1 million fine or
Right.
life in prison, so the penalty's there, or the fine is there.
Wouldn't that be up to me whether I would want them to pay the fine or not?
That's a good point, yeah. If you accepted it, should the judge still throw you in prison for life? Would that be just?
At that point, it would be my decision because the money's there.
Right.
So either I decide whether I'm going to prison or if the judge is going to take the money.
Right. So if you said, you know what, I thank you for that money, I'm not going to receive it, you're going to go to jail.
Right.
Right? But if you say, oh my God, you know, you've paid that for me, thank you, I accept that, the judge can legally now let you go. So not based on you being a good person,
Right.
not based on you being sorry for your crime, you know, you're not going to do it again, none of that. Definitely not based on you could pay it, because you figured out that you couldn't pay it, but based on what that person did for you, he can now legally dismiss your case legally.
Right.
Not just like, oh, let's sweep it under the rug, let's let Jen off, because I like her, that kind of thing. Not like that, but legally he can do it. So what would you think of that person that paid your fine? What do you think of that person?
Well, I would want to know why.
Yeah. What would you think, like, man, that person must be like a really good person or something like that? Like, why would they do this for me?
No, of course I would have some, well, what's our ulterior motive to do it, for sure.
Okay, they just love you. They don't want to see you. Yeah.
That's fair.
Okay, so that's basically the picture I painted was what God did for you and me and Tara and everybody 2,000 years ago when He sent Jesus Christ to this earth. Okay, basically what He did was we're criminals in God's eyes. I've lied, I've stolen things, you admitted to it, so we've broken God's law. So we're criminals in His eyes. But Jesus actually paid our fine. He's that guy that walked in that courtroom, says, I've given my whole life, I love Jen, I don't want to see her receive her right punishment, because it's right, because you committed the crime, but I'm going to pay for it in her place. So basically God sent Jesus to this earth, He lived a sinless life, so He never basically gave in to sin like we have. He never lied, He resisted it every time, He never stole, all that kind of stuff. And then He willingly went to the cross, took upon Himself, the punishment we rightly deserve, and died a bloody, horrible death that He did not deserve, because He was righteous. But because He did that, God says that now we can go free, we can be forgiven, we can walk out of that courtroom because our fine has been paid. But what God commands you and me and everybody else to do is to repent, which means basically turn from sin, turn from these things that have separated us from Him, and put our faith and our trust alone in Jesus Christ. Not in ourselves being a good person, like you mentioned in the beginning, which I would consider in my mind you'd be a good person, but in God's mind, because His standards are so much higher, we're not good. But if we trust in Christ, we become that good person, because we receive what He did for us, and He takes our junk. He washes away our sin.